You said it a little bit, but your Robinhood Business Services, can you tell us a little bit more about what that is and what
and what it is and what it does?
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. So Robinhood Business Services, and I maybe even need to step back a little bit, but it's purposely kind of a vague title because what I was primarily doing was credit card processing for merchants. So any merchant who takes credit cards, or whenever somebody gives them the card and they swipe it through whatever they swipe it through or insert it or key it in or whatever, that gets processed somewhere and somebody makes money off of that. So the thing is, if somebody makes money off of it, why shouldn't it be me, right? So I kind of got into the business with the credit card processing and realizing that nearly every merchant out there is doing some credit card processing. Often they were paying more than they needed to, and I could kind of step in and say, hey, I can save you some money. I can get a little bit of that, and then that just sets up a residual and a kind of a symbiotic relationship between me and the merchant as well. So I'm kind of helping them with that piece of the technology. They're saving money from what was going on before, because the card processing is actually a really complicated pricing structure. So it's really easy for a merchant not to understand what they're paying for and be paying too much. So by being local and working with local merchants, then I'm able to kind of build that relationship. They're getting a good deal. I'm getting a piece of that residual income, which means that now I've got an incentive to keep them happy, right? They have to keep them happy in processing so that I keep making money. And so that's really the core of Robinhood Business Services. But the natural extension to that is the systems that actually do the processing. So that would be what you call a point of sale system,
Okay.
POS. Most small merchants just use a cash register, but then they have a little side terminal that does their credit card processing, or
Absolutely.
those little things that stick on your phone or Bluetooth with your phone. Those are all mechanisms to read that card or the chip, or it used to be just the magnetic strip. Now it's the chip from the card. So that equipment that reads that was kind of part of that card processing. As you get more and more sophisticated on those lines, now we're talking, full point of sale systems where you've actually got your full menu in there. And, if you're a restaurant, that makes sense. But, even like a hardware store has a menu, right? They have all their items that they have for sale and the prices, and those are all in the system. So the advantage to a full point of sale system is now that you don't just have your card processing in there, but you can get reports out of the system that have all your cash flow, your cash, your checks, and your credit cards all in one place. Now you can actually get reports about that. So it's kind of a natural progression. And my whole goal with the Robinhood Business Services, at this point in time, is just to make sure, on my website, I even have cash registers, right? So to be able to walk into that merchant and present myself to the merchant and be able to bring the solution to the table that fits that merchant's need. Maybe they just need a new register. Maybe they're working on their card processing, maybe the terminal they've got right now, and they just need it finessed from a cost standpoint, or maybe they need a whole new system. And to be able to run that gamut and just be a one-stop shop for now what we're talking about, business services. The other piece that I'll add to that is that nowadays, it used to be that everything you plug it into a phone line and run over the phone line, but now everything's networked. It's
dial-up, the old dial-up days.
The old dial-up days.
Yep.
Everything's networked at this point in time. So completely unintentionally now, I've become pretty knowledgeable about network systems, because when one of these systems doesn't work, the most common reason that it's not working is something in the network is gone wrong.
The Wi-Fi connection or something like that.
The connection's dropped is the most common problem. Now, why do connections drop? So then that means that you're tracking these internet cables back, and you're learning about routers and switches and why this stuff doesn't work and things like that. So that's kind of the natural progression. I'm maybe at some point in time we'll start offering services from a network, because this. I digress a little bit because this is a business opportunity that's out there. Maybe I don't want to tell anybody. But the local internet providers, right? You buy internet connection and then it's not working, and you call them up and they're like, well, we got it to your door. We tested, we can look at it, and you've got connection. Good luck.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And whereas the problem most often is then, the modem or the router or the switch or something stopped working, something came unplugged, but who's going to come into your business and help you figure that out? Now, some merchants are really smart about this stuff, but I'll tell you, most of them are focused on running their business and have no interest at all
Absolutely.
in fixing their network. And these things turn into spaghetti networks over years. So I think there's a lot of opportunity out there for these small businesses, but that's maybe the next phase.
Yeah, interesting.
All right, so long answer, but that's Robinhood Business Services.
Yeah, that's helpful though. So I always like to say the smarter the technology, the dumber the problems. So it's kind of funny how that works. And I think no matter what the business is, almost every business owner, like you said, their focus is that business. They don't want to deal with all the extra stuff. Yeah. So it's always interesting for me to hear someone like yourself. You have your business that you're already really busy with, and you're already thinking about what's the next step to either evolve or grow.